Welcome to the Business Information Buffet podcast, brought to you by the Minority Business Development Agency. Each week, we'll be featuring business owners and entrepreneurs that will provide their personal recipe for business, powerful conversations, and knowledge of the business world. We amplify the stories of various backgrounds, cultures, and expertise. Our self-identity is as diverse as our social community. We cultivate a community of like-minded individuals that share their different perspectives, broadening our worldview. Are you ready? This is the Bib Podcast, where everybody eats.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Business Information Buffet Podcast, also known as the Bib Podcast, where everybody eats, for another sensational episode. I am your host, Sean Torrey, with our DJ Icebreak.
You go, boy.
That's what I'm talking about. We have another special guest, man. This guest is a special guest among us today, and we're going to be talking about hair products for people with short hair, or just folks with hair wraps who have the long hair. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have the CEO, the founder, the international sensation, C. Hill, also known as Cortland Hill, in the building. What's up, Cortland?
What's up, man?
How you doing, good sir?
I'm blessed and highly flavored.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, let's go ahead and give a quick bio on my guy, Cortland. So Cortland was born and raised in North Las Vegas, Nevada, attended Las Vegas Academy High School, and afterwards attended the University of Nevada, Reno. After college, he became a flight attendant and has traveled across the world for 6 years. Cortland has been blessed to have traveled to 5 out of the 7 continents of the world in 31 countries and counting. Salute to that, good sir. Cortland is a mental health. He's in the mental health field now and has a beautiful wife with 3 children. He is the founder and CEO of C. Hill, a hair care shop that specializes in organic and raw hair care products for people with coarse, coil, and kinky hair. C. Hill is also sells handmade do-rags and bonnets for purchase. Ladies and gentlemen, Cortland Hill.
I'm here.
The legend is here, ladies and gentlemen. So, man, thank you for coming through.
Man, I'm so happy to be here. Like, my excitement is through the roof right now. For real.
I appreciate
I'm so serious.
Man, let's talk about this hair, because, man, listen, I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
And waves is something we've always competed on. It's on the wave game. So talk to us about really the culture of waves for men who can have waves in the industry. Like, not even just the industry, but just the culture of it.
Well, first and foremost, for me, it's something that I've been fascinated with probably since I was 13 or 14. I had nobody to show me how to get them, or, I didn't know the proper way of how to get them, so it was kind of trial and error growing up. Actually, our boy T-Rab was the first one I ever saw with waves up close and personal. And so when I saw his hair, I was shocked, and I wanted some of those. So, again, trial and error growing up, just figuring out different methods and seeing different things on movies, and, coming up in this technology era and this social media era. I started getting on MySpace and YouTube and seeing different people with different techniques and figuring out what works for different hairstyles, and finding different brushes and different do-rags, and, trying to scrape up $5 to go to Sally's and give me something, to put in my hair, some Murray's or something.
Right.
And now it's blown up into, it's really an international phenomenon. On my page, I have a page called UK Dippers. They follow me. There's a bunch of British dudes with waves.
Right.
I have some Finnish wave pages that follow me, of course, all over the States. And it's really gone across the world. I don't think people really realize how big it is and how cultural it is. I feel like if not every black man, majority of black men have had waves at one point or another in their life, at least in this era, in this society, and it's almost like, when you respect somebody with a nice physique that works out and goes to the gym and eats healthy because, they put in a lot of work. It takes a lot of self-discipline to walk around looking like Boris Kojo or Morris Chestnut in the 90s. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you get if your waves are really dipping, like you really put in that brushwork, like you really put in that work to get them, because not everybody is just blessed or able to have natural wavy hair. But you can tell the difference. You can tell who's been brushing and who was born like that. But either way, it's cool. It looks nice. It's just something that it's deeper than the waves. It's cultural, like you said. It's cultural. So it's just a part of me and something I've been doing for more than half my life, and I think it's what a lot of people know me for.
Right.
I've had the greatest waves ever. I've had the worst waves ever. I've had 360. I've had 180. I did the 540 beehive. I put them in reverse one time. Like, I've done it in every way, almost every way possible.
Right.
So it's just whatever I feel like this week or this month is what I do.
Right, because it's interesting to hear that story, because I think when it comes to wave and hair care, it's been a huge evolution, especially just natural hair itself, right? So talk about the transition from when early 2000s wearing do-rags was like, you could like, I remember we used to get profiled, like, especially for folks of color, for black men and folks of color who used to wear do-rags. It was like not okay. And now we have do-rag fest. And now we have do-rags that are like capes. And it's like, it's a huge deal. And so can you talk about the evolution of do-rags from early 2000s till now?
Yes. I'll even go further beyond early 2000s.
Okay.
Actually, in the 17th century, the ruler of what is now Ethiopia used to wear do-rags because he had short, coarse hair. And he had his servants make him something that would compress his hair and like kind of like a headband too. It would keep the sweat out of his eyes. So, Ethiopia, Africa, it's hot.
It's hot, yeah.
And of course they didn't have AC back then. So
yeah.
It actually came from one of the rulers of Ethiopia. So do-rags are actually originally Ethiopian. They came to the States during the 19th century. It was something that slaves and physical laborers could wrap around their head while they're out in the field all day. And, in the South is extremely humid. So, again, they needed something to keep the sweat out of their face and to keep their hair done. To keep their hair tight while they were out in the field. So it's very cultural, very African, very Southern. And then fast forwarding, and I'm just giving you a small glimpse of what I really studied.
But it makes sense.
But you fast forward to the early 2000s, do-rags were just associated with, being a thug or being a wife beater or being some sort of aggressive person or persons, and like you said, we were profiled for them if we wore them outside or in public. You had one half of the culture worried about what the others think, and then you had the other half of the culture not caring. So, they were out doing whatever they wanted to do with their do-rags on. Right. And then, we would turn on, Jay-Z and Nelly videos, and they had on do-rags in their music videos, and they were cool. Like, they were the cool guys back then, you know? So, of course, all the younger dudes wanted to wear their do-rags, and, women were attracted to them, and the New York dudes, like Cameron and them, they put on like different colors. Yep. So now you don't just got the black, the black polyester. You got the pink ones and the white ones and the double. What are they? The two-tone. The two-tone ones. So they progressively became cool, and like the early 2010s, it kind of died out to be cool for a little bit. But I was still rocking mine. That's when I had just mastered my waves. That's when you and I were doing our wave contest.
Yeah, I remember that.
We'd be up in Reno with all our guys having, you know what I'm saying? So in the background, even though it wasn't cool to wear them, we were still rocking them. Yep. My mom used to be on my head all the time about me wearing them in public. But, it was when I was going to Walmart or to Popeyes or something. I wasn't going into an interview with it on or whatever. But she knew that I would get profiled or, I'd be labeled as this, that, or the third. So she wasn't trying to be a party pooper. She was trying to keep me alive, honestly.
Same.
So, do-rags in public, have come a long way.
Right.
Like you said, now we have Dorag Fest, which I went to on Juneteenth in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's one of the top 10 greatest days of my life. It was amazing. I was so honored to be there, so honored to just be around all these professionals wearing do-rags and bonnets. Like it was really dope. And like you said, now they come in different fabrics, velvet, satin, polyester. You can make them cotton, like a two fabric, cotton on top, satin on the interior. They can be 3 feet, 6 feet, 9 feet, 20 feet, however much fabric you want to pay for it can be done. If your sewing machine has thread, it can be done. Right. You know, so the do-rag culture has definitely come a long way, and I'm honored to be a part of it, because I feel like when I talk about this stuff, just like I was saying, people know me for my waves and do-rags. Like, people listen to me and they trust what I'm saying, because they know this is what I'm passionate about. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just pulling stuff out of my rear end, talking out the side of my neck. Like, I really believe and know what I'm telling you.
Right. And so, man, salute to you, man. I know you've been doing this for a long while, to study this and to really ingrain yourself into the hair product culture, and to also be at Sally's and all these other different businesses with Gunk in the Trunk, which is his other product. And we'll get into that a little later in the segment, but we're going to go into the first segment. You ready for the good segment? First segment, good sir?
I'm ready.
So this one right here is recipe versus the outcome. So this segment, we discuss your journey and how you planned the business and what challenges you faced and how you were able to overcome it and what was the outcome from it, all right? So the first question I have for you is, can you think of a time that you planned something and it didn't go accordingly? How did you make it work?
Yes. So this business, it was the last 2 years, someone has been putting it in my head that I need to get this business off the ground, but I wasn't ready. I didn't feel like doing it. And so the end of last summer, around September, I made a business plan, and I finally decided, like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to get the ball rolling. The brick wall that I couldn't get over, the issue was I couldn't find a seamstress. Like, it was like I had to go on all these websites like Alibaba or something and try to find somebody overseas. And sometimes there's a dialect barrier, especially with something like this that's so cultural, and mainly amongst African Americans. Like, trying to explain that to somebody that lives in northern China was difficult. Right. So, you know, what was blocking me and what wasn't going as planned was finding the seamstress. And trying to find one here in Vegas was a joke. You know, no offense to the seamstresses here, but they're all booked and busy. It's not an easy trade. So, you know, they're telling me, oh, I gotta wait 3, 4, 5 months, or they want a deposit so that we could talk about possible business. And so I was like, no. So the way I overcame that is I enrolled in YouTube University and I got my master's in sewing. You know,
so he got his master's in sewing.
Yeah, so appreciate that. Undergrad at UNR, you know, master's at YU. Seriously, like, I was like, this can't be this hard, you know. Right. Sewing is hard. I'm just here to tell you, it's not something that you're going to learn overnight. It took me months to get it down, but thankfully I got it down. And even now, I'm still learning different techniques. I brought Brawisha with me, and she has on the first bonnet I ever fully completed. That's why this one is special to me. This literally hangs in my house like a trophy. I just don't want to forget where I came from and where my business started from. Right. So I have my first bonnet. That was the first thing I ever really sold. And then the first $5 I ever made, when I was making Gunk in the Trunk, I sold my cousin
show that to the camera so people can see that.
Yeah, I sold my cousin a sample of this for $5, and I kept the $5 bill. You know, like your first dollar you frame, I framed my first $5. So
salute to that, man. And then what are some things you've experienced that could have worked out in theory but did not go the way it was practiced?
Oh man. I mean, I guess I can go back to the seamstress thing. You know, I could have waited. I could have, paid all that money for somebody to, bring my ideal to life. But I just felt in my heart that wasn't the right thing to do. And, on top of that, like, why not learn another trade?
Right.
Why not, add another apple to the basket? And it's been very good for me. It's worked out very well for me, because when I make the bonnets and the Dorags and the gunk in the trunk or whatever I make, whether it's, on the sewing machine or not, I know it was made with these hands. It was sewn with soul. It was made with love, and I don't have to worry about some outside vendor or entity messing up my idea.
Right. And how did the process going into gunk in the trunk? Because that was something I know. Because at first, when we talked about C Hill, it was all about Dorags, and then you wanted to make a pomade. Because I think a lot of us, especially in our circle, we got tired of using, like, it was experimenting, because it's like, man, like, the ones that we used to use weren't as good as they were, because they transitioned. So talk about that progression with gunk in the trunk.
So gunk in the trunk, I just first and foremost want to say gunk in the trunk is my baby. Out of everything I make, gunk in the trunk is my favorite child. It comes from, like you said, we put, I'm not going to put any other companies on blast, but they have all these harsh chemicals in them, phosphates and sulfur and, diallic conside. I just made that up, but it sounds like a chemistry, so like all this stuff is making our hair look nice, but it's ruining our hair. It's burning our scalps, it's not good for us. And so I just figured how, back in March, actually, I was talking to myself. I was like, how can I make a pomade that's good for our hair, but won't harm it at the same time? Will actually do the opposite and give it that health, and that shine that it needs. And so I played for about a week. I played with different, I did my homework, my research. I played with different ingredients on the gunk in the trunk. And then I found this ingredient, this combination, and it worked out. And I actually told Sean and our boy Darius, and I told them about it. And I was like, y'all got to try this. I think I got one, and it turned out it's been going great. I've been able to get gunk in the trunk. It's in Finland. It's in England. It's in Brazil now. Several different states. I'm missing somewhere. But anyway, it's in Ireland too.
That's what I'm talking about.
And the two of those European countries are multiple time buyers. Like, they've come. You should see the shipping to get it over there.
Man.
Even with the shipping, they bought it again. So, that lets me know I'm doing something right. I wouldn't sell it to people if I didn't believe in it. I use it myself, So.
Yes, sir. And I remember you gave us a sample, and I was like, all right, I tried it, and like literally a week, and that's when I went and got a week. It changed, and I got my hair cut. And then I made that video for you. I was like, I was like, yo. She was like, man, I ain't seen your waves dip this hard. I was like, man, listen, I haven't seen my waves dip this hard, because you know that look that you always had, and I haven't seen my waves like that in years. And I literally just recently cut my hair again. I bought some gunk in the trunk, because I was like, hey, I need to get this reback. My waves ain't hit that hard in a long time.
Yeah, that was a great video, great promo. It was like the sun came out that day extra early and extra bright.
It did.
Like, it was just a perfect video. I was like, okay, I see you.
Hey, listen, I had to. Man, so thank you, sir. Thank you for that, because man, you gave us that recipe, and everything worked out for you. But now, good sir, my brother, I gotta put you in that hot seat.
Go. I'm from Vegas. I'm used to the heat.
You ready? So in this segment, that's where we ask you in-depth questions to learn more about you as a guest, right?
Okay.
So the first question I have for you is, who did you look up to growing up?
Martin Lawrence.
Salute.
Hands down, Martin Lawrence. That's the easiest answer I'll ever be able to give.
What's one habit you do daily?
Brush my teeth. One habit I personally do daily outside of brushing my teeth is every morning, because we live in this social media era. Everybody's always on their phones and everything. I pretty much use my phone for almost everything. But every morning when I wake up, I pray. first I pray. I pray over my family, my friends, my loved ones, my issues, anything holding me down. I give it to God, and then I do a devotion in my Bible app.
Right.
It just gets me right before I get on my phone or go watch TV or head to work. Like, it just gets my mind right. So that's something that I literally do every day, every morning. That's my morning ritual. When I wake up.
Favorite tool to use that helps you run your business?
Favorite tool?
Yeah.
So I got this weird obsession with the mixer. Like, I don't know when I'm mixing, like, I'm only supposed to mix for like 30 seconds and I just be sitting there for like 5 minutes just enjoying it. I don't know what it is, but my mixer is my favorite tool because I use a mixer to make gunk in the trunk and swiminate.
Okay. Best part about working for yourself?
Best part about working for myself is that, I get to bring my ideas and my products to life.
Right.
Again, like I was saying earlier, I don't have to worry about some third party or some other entity, possibly ruining my idea or what I have planned.
What's the worst part of working for yourself?
It's just me.
One man band.
One man band. Sometimes I want help, and sometimes I'm like, but there's a lot of times where I would like help, but I'm not at that level yet. But one day. Yeah.
Got you, bro. So think you made it through the hot seat, bro. It wasn't that hard, right?
No.
It wasn't that hard. I promise you it wasn't gonna be that bad. That's the next part.
If you don't got no sauce, then
you lost.
You lost.
You get lost in the
You
sauce.
also get lost in the sauce.
Fun fact, I still remember seeing that clip when he did that.
Yeah, as a huge fan of Gucci, I definitely appreciate that.
I had to.
That clip. Every episode, I love it.
Appreciate that. So in this segment, this gives us more insight about our guests, and where we ask, what is your special ingredient in your business? Not the actual chemical, but just your special ingredient, right? So where we tell us why nobody can replicate what you do. So why is C Hill a business nobody can duplicate what you do?
C Hill is a business that nobody can duplicate what I do for several reasons. I mean, just the name alone is wild. Like how it was able to wrap itself around. Because again, my name is Cortland Hill.
Right.
Cortland starts with the letter C. And I was able to make the business C Hill, like sea, like the body of water.
Right.
And a majority of people call me C Hill, so I just panned out. So the name alone, that works. And C, you got the waves, and it all just comes 360 full circle.
Right.
On top of that, I've always been big on customer service, especially somebody that's worked in customer service. I've worked with the general population. I've been a flight attendant, a cashier, all that good stuff. And so I try to make sure my customer service is top notch. And I feel like a lot of minority owned businesses get backlash for their customer service.
I agree.
I see memes and posts about it all the time on social media. So I always keep that in the back of my mind with everybody. Even if I'm dealing with my closest friend, I try to communicate if something is happening or letting them know when their order will be in the mail or whatever the case may be. So I think my community service is up there with Chick-fil-A's. I say that with 100%.
He's out there with Chick-fil-A.
I'm like, you can always reach me. You always know where to find me. I work graveyard shifts, so I'm up all day. You know what I'm saying? So like, whenever you got a question or something, like I can answer it. I'm gonna be truthful with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my customer service is up there, and just a brand like. Again, this is no shade to the other Dorag or bonnet companies, but I think just the way that I'm making these, like the velvet exterior and the satin interior, like is something different. And I'm not using like cliche colors. Like this one right here that I have with me on Browisha is Sin City at Sunset. It was created after the beautiful desert sunset that we get here in Sin City. Right. That burgundy orangish thing that we see in the sky. Like that's where this came from. Yeah. That's where the name came from. So yeah, just the colors that I have coming, the colors that I have now, and the gunk in the trunk and the swiminate and where these names and titles come from. Every name and title came from somewhere.
It definitely did.
One of the titles, the swiminate, which is gunk in the trunk, but it's lemon scented. Sean was with me when the title was created. My daughter, she can't say lemonade. We were at Chili's and she asked the server for some swimming aid. And I looked at Sean, I was like,
that's the one.
That's the
Yeah,
one.
he
And
did.
summer was
He's like,
coming up,
swimming aid.
lemon scent summer. So I made it swimming aid, and swim, sea, waves, it all, like, everything just works out.
Full circle.
So that can't be replicated. I mean, if you do, you're that's just what it is.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. Man, you definitely gave us that sauce.
If you don't got no sauce, then
with a little bit of that magic, you know what I'm talking about? You know, with that little bit of magic. And so I can't thank you enough for being on the episode, man. And first of all, a round of applause for him because he is a consistent listener. He's one of our subscribers, and we can't thank you enough because we're gonna go into our last segment.
Okay.
The happy hour, ladies and gentlemen. In this segment, this is where the host and the guest, where we toast to success, where we ask what's going on great for you, business, big or small. So, C Hill, my man Cortland, tell us what's up we can toast to, good sir.
Man, we gonna toast to Gunk in the Trunk now being on Walmart.com, on Amazon,
Hey,
Sally's with the asterisk there. Not in every Sally's, but in different cities,
Right.
various cities. On Mariah, Etsy, and just these stores that I've been shopping in all my life, and now my product is in them. I can get on my Walmart app and see Gunk in the Trunk on there. That's mind blowing to me. So we could definitely toast to that.
We could toast to that, my good brother. To C Hill.
Cheers. Salud. Salud, not salute.
That's funny you say that.
That's a reference from the Cerveza episode.
Yeah.
If anybody watched or listened to it.
Yeah, because he thought I said salute. He thought I said salute. But I guess either way, if you hear it, it does sound like I said salute.
In Spanish and Italian is salud.
Salud.
So it means cheers, but it means salute. Yeah.
So, Cortland, man, thank you for coming on the episode
Thank you for
again,
having
man.
me.
Please drop your selfish plug so people can find you, good sir.
On every social media platform, you can find us under C Hill Online. That's CSEA Hill HILL online. If you need to find me on my personal Instagram, it's _Hillionaire. It's like the word millionaire, but instead of an M, it's an H. So _Hillionaire. And our website is chillonline.store, which was also kind of a pun because it's C Hill's online store. So instead of .com, it's .store. chillonline.store. And yeah, that's where you can find us.
Thank you so much, my good brother. We deeply appreciate you. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Business Information Buffet Podcast, also known as the BIP Podcast, where everybody eats. I am your host, Sean Torrey, with our DJ Icebreak.
You go, boy.
And we're out, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you soon.
Can't lose.